It's here! If you haven't already guessed what we're going to be talking about today, it is the new Sydney Grace and Fancy Face collab. It is this gorgeous Tropicolor eyeshadow palette. Look at this. Look at this. Now, my name is Lauren. If you're new here, I should introduce myself. And if you're not new, you're the best for coming back. Thank you. If you haven't had a chance already, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500. I was gonna say 5K. No, 500 subscribers before the end of this year. I think that's totally doable, but I need your help. Now, today we are talking about this beautiful, beautiful palette. Now, Sydney Grace is a brand that I've talked about before. They're an indie brand, which means they're a much smaller company. They don't have any sort of parent brand. They're not owned by a conglomerate. They're very independent, and they're fabulous. They make some of the best shimmers. So when I heard they were coming out with a new tropical colored palette, I knew I had to get this. This is a collab that they did with Tina, and she is on Instagram. Her handle is The Fancy Face. She does some beautiful looks, and what I thought we would do is I'm gonna do some swatches on camera, and then we're just gonna do a look. And honestly, like, I have been looking through all of Tina's beautiful looks on Instagram, and there's one look that she did that I want to try to emulate. So I think that's what we're gonna try to do today. So let's get into the swatches and then let's get into the look. Okay, we are swatching Coconut, which actually has a little bit of shimmer to it. It's very pretty. Rum Raisin, Sunrays, sorry about my watch band imprint, guys. Did not want to go away. Palm Trees, Maroon, and Cocoa Beans. That is the first row of the palette. Then we have Lignum Vitae. Oh wow, it's pretty. Blue Maho, Dr. Bird, and Cane Fields. Wolmer's and Negril finishes off the second row. Then we have on the third row Tropical Punch, Waterfalls, Rainforest, Hellshire, Milk River, and Grape Nut. Okay, so there is the entire palette swatched. Those shimmers are kind of everything. That white's actually super pretty. I did not realize it had that pearl sheen to it. Very pretty. Okay, let's get into the look. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes. I'm using my favorite Gimme Glow Primer in Parchment. And I wanted to say a few more things about this palette in case you were curious. This palette is still available on Sydney Grace's website, and it's retailing for $60. So a little bit on the expensive side, but you are getting a lot of colors. You're getting 18 beautiful colors, and there's a good variety too. I feel like you can do a lot of looks with what is in here. Okay, so this is the look that we are kind of aiming to achieve. Now, I don't think Tina did any sort of like breakdown of the colors she used on here, but we're gonna just kind of guess. We're gonna just kind of just see what happens, you know? We're just gonna play around with this palette. It's so beautiful. Now, I'm gonna say that she used the color Sun Rays on her brow bone and on the inner eye, and then, let's see, I think palm trees. She kind of went in and did maybe a little halo look. Looks like maybe, maybe there's some blue in there too. I don't know. Let's just get into it. So I'm gonna start with this eye. And yeah, I think I'm going to just go ahead, start with Sun Rays, go ahead and put that all over my upper brow bone. I'm like trying to look at this picture and talk to you guys at the same time. Now this palette was based off of the colors of Jamaica, and I wish I was there. So I have a Disney World trip coming up, and it's also hand in hand with a Caribbean cruise. Caribbean. I feel like people always say it differently. And this has been a trip that was planned 3 years ago. We're finally at the point where we're ready to take it, and we're just ready, you know? I've never been to Disney World, and I haven't been on a cruise in a long time. I feel like you either love cruises or you hate cruises. And I think I love them. I went on a cruise once when I was itty bitty. Well, I was 18. It feels like a long time ago. I was 18, but I remember very much enjoying the food. And that's kind of all I have. It's like the main memory I have is of the food. I think with my tummy. Okay, we got the yellow on. It's a really pretty yellow. Yellow still intimidates me, but we're doing it. We're doing it. Okay, next what I want to go into is, I think we are going to go into palm trees here. My palm tree did crack a little bit in transit, but it's holding up fine. It's totally okay. Okay, and I think what I want to do is I just want to go in, kind of do like a little bit of a halo look. And blend it in with that yellow. Because I do have a little bit of a hooded eye, I'm going to bring the color up just a little bit higher than what she has in her picture. What I think she has in her picture. Just so that you guys can see it better. Sometimes it just doesn't look the best on camera. It's very odd. So far, these colors are layering very well on each other. They're not creating any sort of muddy mess. It's a very nice green. For being a matte forest, it's a forest green. It's not a forest green, but a pretty bright matte green. It's going on very well. Oh yeah, it's blending out really well too. Okay. Now it looks like she's got a bright blue in there, so I'm gonna say we're gonna go into Volumizing, and we are going to use that as the next layer. And I'm gonna get it on the very tippy top of my brush and kind of just tap it in, like so. It's a pretty blue. Oh yeah, so it looks like this one is going to perform best if you do a little bit of layering, because the more I layer it, the more that it pops. And it's definitely popping. So I'm not sure if she actually used another color, but I'm not gonna lie, I can't not go into Rainforest. So I'm going to go ahead and put that directly in the center, and I'm gonna use my finger. go up a little. Woo, look at that color, pretty. And I think what I want to do is I want to deepen out the ends. It looks like she has something a little darker in the end. So we're going to go into cane fields and we're going to buff that into the outer ends of my lid. So far I'm not experiencing any fallout, which is very, very nice. Oh, this is a pretty green. Okay, I'm trying not to disrupt what's already on my eye, but this is a very pretty green. Kind of gonna do a little bit of blending so the corners of everything are a little bit smoother, especially between the green and the yellow. I'm gonna go back into cane fields and bring that up just a smidge. Last but not least, it looks like she's got some blue in her waterline. We're gonna go back into Walmers and go ahead and put that under the waterline. I feel like putting light blue in my waterline is gonna make me look like I'm reliving my high school years. Actually, I feel like my makeup was much worse in high school. And just a little bit of light blue. Okay, I think we were on point. I definitely think the inclusion of Rainforest, I don't think that was a color that she used, but I am glad that I picked it because it's a gorgeous, oh God, I just want to put that all over my lid. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other eye, put on some eyeliner and mascara, and then give you my thoughts on this palette. Be right back. Okay, so this is the final look. I think we were kind of close to the inspiration that we got from Tina. I think it's a similar look. I might have added a couple more colors on there, but yeah, what do we think? Yeah, I kind of feel like I need to bring this palette with me on my cruise because we're going to the Caribbean or Caribbean. We're going there and it's gonna be just tropical and lush, and I think this palette is gonna be perfect for doing looks for that trip. Now, what are my overall thoughts? If you've been on this channel before, you've probably heard me talk about Sydney Grace and how much I love their eyeshadow formula. Now, I'm gonna say I don't think the mattes are anything to write home about. I wouldn't go out of my way to pick up the mattes from Sydney Grace, but the shimmers are a whole nother story. If I could collect every single shimmer from Sydney Grace, I would. I may have. I'm probably pretty close to owning the majority of their shimmers. I'm not gonna lie. The shimmers are absolutely outstanding. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with their mattes. Their mattes are really well done. They performed really well. I didn't experience any patchiness. I like the mattes, but really it's just the shimmers blow me away every time. They are this creamy consistency that just feels beautiful regardless of what medium you're using to apply them, and they always turn out exactly as vibrant as they look in the pan. They just have so much oomph behind them that it's just a joy to use them, you know? What you really want to do though is you want to get the shimmers, and I think the colors that Sydney Grace and Tina picked to put in this palette just work so well together. Like, it's just beautiful. And what I really like about this palette is that you can do a more neutral look too. It's a little harder, but there's enough neutrals in here. You've got maroon, you have grape nut, you have Hellshire, you've got a white and coconut. So you can definitely pull off a more neutral look if that's what you're going for. But obviously, if you're not a color lover, then I would say it's probably not the palette for you. You really have to want to seek out some color if you're going to get the most out of this palette. Another huge thing that I noticed is I didn't experience any fallout. Now, I'm impressed. I was expecting a little bit of fallout. It just happens with eyeshadows, but nope, there's no fallout at all. So I will say I'm pretty impressed with that. Now, is this palette worth $60? That's a pretty high price tag, but I do think if you are into colors and you intend on using this palette, then their formula and their shimmers is worth that price tag. I just think you can do no wrong with Sydney Grace's shimmer formula. It's beautiful. And again, it layers really well on top of their mattes. So everything in this palette is gonna work really well with each other. Overall, very glad I have this palette. Very glad that I'm gonna be bringing it with me on my next trip. And congratulations to Sydney Grace and the Fancy Face for putting out another beautiful palette. I'm just gonna enjoy this one for quite a while. I hope you all liked this video, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!